Ecosse Regeneration was to provide the answer after a number of false starts. The environmental considerations for the site and its surrounding communities shaped their plans for the Heartlands development.
Yeah, well, for years the Polkemmet Bing's been a major problem for the local people, and anything that was going to be developed there, part of the proposal had to be that we get rid of the burning bing, which was causing real problems and an obnoxious smell. When Terry Walker came along and made the offer of not just open casting it, but getting rid of the bing and redeveloping the site, it sounded like a godsend to us councillors who had lived with that for years.
What we had to do was spend quite a lot of cash initially in checking all the soil structure, all the rivers, all the burdens, all the bings, all the tips, and establish what material could be used and where it could be used.
The intention we have in this is to make this as an environmentally friendly project as possible, and we're reusing everything we can on site.
My particular role is looking at ecology, which is the impact of the development on animals, plants, birds, but all the other considerations are taken into account as well. There are something like 10,000 trees which were just growing, regenerating quite naturally across the site. They've been dug up as seedlings, collected, put into a tree nursery, and they will be put back onto the site as part of the woodland planting that's to be done. Absolutely following best practice.
Because we're so involved in it and sit well within the project, you can actually visualise things that are happening. You're not sitting away from the project and not seeing it. You're actually hands-on, you can actually see that. And as long as you've got the concept that you're going to recycle or to make this as sustainable as possible, you're actually sitting there watching it, and it just clicks sometimes.
At national level, MSPs appreciate this environmental approach. The coal has gone. The clean-up of the former coal mine will create a new seam of prosperity, bringing with it jobs, housing, and a better lifestyle for residents.
Having the old coalfield there was a very important part of why the local area has developed as it has. And we don't want to forget that, but we've moved on now.
Whitburn has had a traditional history that has been coal mining and manufacturing in the past, and just as Scotland has had to change and move on, so has Whitburn.
So Whitburn must move on, which seems quite appropriate given the town's proud motto is the single word, onward. The process is organic. The landscape is changing.
And what we're seeing now is an extensive landscaping, an almost transformation of the type of development that's prevailed on that site for so long to a very, very well landscaped housing and business park area.
Care of local wildlife has been paramount during site clearance. For instance, the local population of water voles has been sympathetically translocated. Insect life, flora and fauna will return.
There's been massive improvements in the way soils are treated. There's been massive improvements in technology. We've employed technology as far afield as South Africa.
Surprisingly, satellite technology is helping to lay Heartland's firm foundations. Harnessing a global positioning system, this South African giant compresses the infill material layer upon layer. Its onboard computer produces a display map of the area covered for its skilled operator. Sending and receiving satellite readings every second, this innovative machine doesn't miss a millimeter. Quite an achievement when the scale of Heartlands is considered. The project covers one of the largest regeneration sites in the UK, 470 hectares, or To put that in perspective, around 1,000 football parks. Of that total, 120 hectares was made up of industrial dereliction. The figures are staggering. 4 million cubic meters of colliery waste, a large proportion of which consisted of constantly smouldering, smoking Bing, had to be removed and replaced. 30 million cubic meters of rock and soil had to be excavated to enable its remediation. All of which has created the largest engineered groundworks in Europe. In excess of 8 million cubic meters of compacted material now forms the foundation on which Heartlands will be built.
In a stroke, what Terry Walker's doing is transforming the area into a business park, creating 2,000 houses, in total he's regenerating 600 hectares of land.
Where we saw the benefit was employing modern technology. We've been very successful at that, and the end product will speak for itself.
In the reborn Whitburn, it will be the residents themselves, some of them grandchildren of former miners, who will make Heartlands beat.
Not been done that I know of in Scotland. It's to try and slow the car down, make car not part of the community, to try and get that away from what we're doing. Have greenscapes, walkways, cycle paths, so you can actually walk your kid to school rather than taking the car to school.
That pleasant walk to school won't be too long, thanks to the provision of a new eco-friendly school building that will cut energy costs by up to 70%. Its design and materials will reflect a sustainable approach to construction and indeed the emphasis Scots place on education. The new school will be amid 2,000 energy-efficient new homes.
It'll bring housing, it'll bring a new school into the area for those to service those people in those houses, whole range of housing within it, from the social rented right up to fairly high-priced housing.
That's a view shared by the Chief Executive of the West Lothian Council.
Every developer who's building new houses in West Lothian to make a proportion available for affordable housing.
It'll bring jobs in the future when we see the business park being developed.
Amongst the first of the new generation commercial premises to be completed will be the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Building, the WEE building, the catalyst for an exciting, innovative business park.
Whitburn is an existing community, and we view this as an extension of that existing community, and there's a lot of benefits in doing that. There's certain elements of Whitburn that are tired and need further investment, and we think by providing access to this area, clearing up the dereliction, that will encourage further investment.
The employment opportunities the business park will create will transform Whitburn and the surrounding area from a bypassed narrow corridor into a major avenue of commerce, bringing with it a potential 4,000 new jobs. The construction of a new dedicated motorway junction will allow easy access to and from the motorway network.
So actually, by having the businesses side by side with the new housing, you'll ensure that they complement each other. The businesses will also attract people from round about, from the wider area of Lanarkshire, Edinburgh, Glasgow. You know, we're right in the heart of Scotland here, so we have a huge opportunity to provide for the wider community.